Listen, today's author spotlight is going to be off the chain. We are so excited to have you here on the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. And my guest is in the virtual green room. We have, I'm going to say Richmond's own, Bishop James E. Watson is with us. Certainly you know him. Absolutely. He is the executive pastor of Words of Deliverance Worldwide Ministries and the CEO of Strong Man Ministries. And we're going to be talking about a book and a workbook that he put together for you. He is the author of Brewing Wit, the Bishop, Prayer on Tap. Listen, we're going to get all into it, find out all about his background, all of the things. And we're excited that you're joining us here on the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. If you are live, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments. Let me play the intro. We're going to be right back. Don't you move.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Charvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Charvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. Thank you for those that are watching our live stream. We're streaming in 4 or 5 different places. We're so excited to have you. And those that come back and check out the recording and the replay, we're glad to have you. Certainly to all of our podcast listeners, those that listen from Spotify or from iHeartRadio or from Apple Podcasts, all of the places, we are excited that you are with us. Listen, go ahead and subscribe to our podcast. And if you're over on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We know you like this content, and click the notification bell right there. Certainly those that are listening from charvette.com, we have faithful listeners that just say, listen, I just go to your website. I don't have to figure out where to listen, where to watch. I just go to your website. And then also big shout out to Blog Talk Radio, one of our syndicated stations that you may be listening to this interview on. And so we're excited to have you. Listen, the virtual studio is filling up. The goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we're going to do that today with our guest that's hanging out in the virtual green room. This is episode 732 of the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. Yep, you heard that correctly, 732. Let me greet a few people. Listen, Lisa Watson, I'm already going to send you some tips because she is tagging. Shout out to Lisa Watson, an amazing entrepreneur, small business owner in Richmond. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to my blood sister. She was like, listen, I'm here. Deborah's here. We're over on YouTube. Hello, JL. Thank you for being in the building. Thank you for tagging people. We love it. Listen, my mother's going to always hold it down, right? She's going to hold it down. Hey, girl. Hey, thank you for being here as always. And welcome. So let me introduce our guest so we can go ahead and jump right on in to this conversation. Again, 732, right? Again, our author spotlight. And so our guest, waiting in the virtual green room right now, Bishop James E. Watson. He is a living example of a man who seeks the face and heartbeat of God. He's the executive pastor of Words of Deliverance Worldwide Ministries. I know we got some members in the audience. Let us know. And CEO of Strong Man Ministries. He is a respected spiritual leader, philanthropist, and humanitarian. Bishop Watson is committed to creating and cultivating an authentic and safe church experience that glorifies God and exceeds all preconceived notions. Listen, he's devoted to serving in excellence and with spiritual integrity. Absolutely. He has become known as and known for, that ain't it. That ain't it. His candid, real talk sessions for men and women that really get to the heart of people and providing hope and help and healing. And last but certainly not least, he's a faithful husband, beloved father, loyal friend. Bishop Watson is married to his best friend, who we literally, if you are in his presence in person, you hear him say this, his caramel covered angel wrapped in scripture, a friend friend of the show, Dr. Nikita Garris Watson, and they share 4 amazing children. And he's here as our featured guest during this author spotlight on the Charlotte Mitchell Radio Show because he has a new book, journal, workbook. It's all called Brewing Wit, the Bishop, Prayer on Tap. So we are excited. Put your virtual hands together, clap it up. Listen, I got to share some love. Thank you, Dr. Nikita Garris Watson. I still got the keys, plural, that you gave me. I hope you remember that. Listen, church shout out is whoop whoop. We here in the house. Put your hands together. Coming up live on the Charlotte Mitchell Radio Show, Bishop James Watson. Welcome.
Good evening, Charvette. Good evening. I am so excited. I'm so excited.
Oh, we are so excited to have you. I literally have had, listen, Lisa, thank you, Lisa, for being here. She's like, yes, Bishop. I have had you on my list of, I need to reach out to him and get him on the show. And so I'm excited that that we made that happen. And I just want to jump right on in and let our listeners kind of know, like, how did ministry get started for you? Like, how did all of this get started?
Ministry for me got started really a long time ago. No, it really wasn't that long. Back, I drove tractor trailer for about 20 years, and around 2006, I really just kind of fell in love being out on the road and having nothing to do during the break times and things of that nature, sleeping out on the road in different places. I kind of just really fell into a really great time with just reading my Bible, having a chance to just read the Bible and not looking for anything, not studying anything like that. And around 2006, I got that call, and it was crazy how I got the call. I left the club, leaving the club that night, and I was actually inebriated a little more than I wanted to. And got home, fell out the car in a ditch and laid in the ditch all night long. Got up that morning, dragged myself into. I had the whole evening on me, dragged myself into the house. Got in the house and I just said, God, I don't want to drink like this no more. I don't want to do this anymore. And if you would just, guide me and take me at this particular time, I'll do whatever you say. And 2006, I got that call from the Lord to just come and be one of his servants.
Wow. Listen, real talk, like legitimately not someone who, their parent. Now, I don't know if your parents drug you to church or somebody but literally somebody, you're saying I had this real experience and this real conversion. And so, so we move on and with your life and all of that. When did you decide, okay, I want to start and become the CEO of Strongman Ministries?
Strongman Ministries really didn't evolve until, and that's a great question. It really did not evolve until I met my beautiful bride. When I met the caramel covered angel that you spoke about in the introduction, that's my caramel covered angel wrapped in scripture that I get to read every night. So for all the married folk out there, the marriage bed is undefiled except for homongers. But yeah, it came when I met my wife. I actually married into the ministry. Words of Deliverance. At first, it was just Words of Deliverance, and then some years later, God added Worldwide to the ministry. And my wife, at that particular time, we were doing things with the ministry outreach, just building men, just trying to build men. She was building her men in the ministry. I came along. We got married in 2011. And in 2011, I started doing real talk sessions. We would go out to Shoney's. Most of those are closed now. And we would go to Shoney's on Saturdays. And we would just have real talk out there where men could just come and express themselves and do what, just be themselves. And that was one of the things that I really wanted to make sure, because as an adolescent, I had men in my life. My mother, I had a stepfather, and I really don't like to use the word stepfather. Even for my own children, I use bonus. They're my bonus children. So I married to my wife. She had two, a boy and a girl, Sasha and Stephen. I had my own biological children, Quinton and Kyra, and so it just was a beautiful marriage. That marriage came together, and we just unified as a couple. And so even with that, I just wanted to make sure that I was able to create a community where men could build their faith, they could actually grow their relationships with God, and they could just use their unique skills and to help heal women. I know that's kind of strange, but if we get healed as men, we can really help our women to understand us the way we really should be understood.
That's a nugget right there. Somebody needs to type nugget in the comments. Somebody needs to type nugget in the comments right there. And I'm so glad that you really have this focus, because certainly we know, like, visibly, there appears to be a disparity between how many women are in church versus how many men that we see in church. And literally, I had a conversation yesterday or Sunday evening with a friend of mine, and he's a pastor, and he was listening to another pastor say, men, if you are in your 30s and your 40s and you're in the church and you're not married, he was like, something is wrong, because there's too many beautiful, eligible, smart women in the church. And so why do you think there is such what appears to be a disparity with the amount of men versus women in the church?
One is because men, I just feel like that men need something that drives purpose. If we can find our purpose and why we should be, in the face of God, and why we should be, we don't come for the only thing we like to get entertained by is football games, basketball games, sports arena. And some men don't even enjoy sporting events. Some men enjoy just reading. They love going to a great library. But one of the things that's keeping us, I believe, from the church is ourselves. Because we go and we feel like sometimes men will feel like they're in competition with the pastor, and I tell men, come and meet me, because I meet people where they are. That's always been my thing. I'm gonna meet you where you are. If I meet the person that you're thinking about being involved with out in the street before he come to church, he'll be more than happy to come to church, because he'll see a different type of pastor than he's used to seeing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. And so, ladies, don't be afraid, or you might, don't be afraid that your spiritual leader meets who you're, looking to entertain. Don't be afraid about that. And so, and these,
take him,
yeah,
take him out and meet your pastor, and don't tell him he's your pastor,
uh-huh.
and then see how that go for you. Because when I'm meeting men where they are, we're going to just have a general conversation. We're going to have a conversation that I'm going to leave a lasting legacy on you, because I want to make sure that you understand that this is just not about women. Our rightful place is to be leaders in the church.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, if you just came on in, we see you. I'm Charvette Mitchell, the host of the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. We're on episode 732, and our author spotlight, Bishop James E. Watson, is here with us. Go ahead and comment. If you're new to the broadcast, let us know. Type new. If you are new, we'd love to just shout you out and showcase your comment. And so you got to tell me a little bit more about That Ain't It, the Candid Real talk sessions.
It started it really started, excuse my laughter, but it started, we were just sitting around the house, just some family and friends, and we were sitting around the house, and we were going somewhere, just traveling, and a couple of things happened, and I just kept saying, that ain't it. That's really not it. That's not what we're doing in the season. Like just certain things. And this is no disrespect to any men in the church, but one of those things where I see sitting in the church fan, and I used to tell the young guys in the church, I don't want to see you with no fan. You better sit there and endure that heat. You better sit there and wipe and get you a face towel so you can wipe your face. Don't you sit there and be fanning with that fan. And and so I would tell them, that ain't it. That's not it. That's not what we're doing it. But nowadays we have the electric battery operated fans,
yes.
So we can actually fan ourselves in church.
Great. And so this transition, and really, what was the catalyst to say, okay, I'm preaching, I'm speaking, I'm pastoring, I am, working really strongly to help men feel connected in ministry. What was the catalyst to say, okay, I need to create a journal, a workbook, I need to put something in writing?
society puts so much pressure on us to be strong. Society puts so much pressure on us to make a difference in the world. And so one of the catalysts to making sure that this book, this prayer journal for men, and it's for women as well. When I did Brewing with the Bishop, it's really for men and women. You just have to change the language in the book to suit a woman if you're praying from the book. But one of the catalysts to get this actually started was when I came off the road in I believe it's 2013, 2014. When I was working for Han company as a Han Industries. It was a furniture company, and they moved from Richmond. They were in Chester. They moved from Chester to Cedartown, Georgia. When they moved to Cedartown, Georgia, I went with them for a little while, but making those trips down to Georgia got kind of extensive. Then they decided they were moving out to Cleveland, and so they gave us a package to say, hey, if you don't want to move with us to Cleveland, you can take this deal and we'll give you this amount for the amount of years you've been here. And so I decided, hey, I talked to my wife at that time, and I told her, I said, I believe God just telling me to come on off the road. I came off the road in faith. And when I came off the road in faith, it really gave me an opportunity, Shavette, to really just get in the face of God. One of my passions is prayer. And one of my things that I love to do is spend time with God. And I just felt like when I was on the road, I had time in the back of my truck to spend time with him. Why I can't have that while I'm at home? And so I would get in the face of God in the mornings about 6 o'clock in the morning, and being off of work and not having to go to work. By the time I got out of the face of God, it was 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'd spend time just on my face, just listening to God. And so one of the things that I found out is that a relationship where you participate in making sure that you have a great communication and great communication skills with God is one of the main reasons why this book was so important.
I love that living testament and testimonial. We have a quick commercial break. So Bishop, I'm going to have you relax in the green room, and we're going to come back, and I want to hear how listeners and viewers should use the book, and what kind of journey and journal and workbook, what kind of journey it takes them on. So we'll take you back to the green room, and viewers and listeners, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Listen, later on this week, I have 2 site visits for our 2024 event. Ooh, y'all, it's going to be so good. But listen, I could show you better than I could tell you. Take a peek, take a look at our 2023 event. The 2024 event is going to be off the chain. It's going to be a little bit of difference, a little bit of a pivot, but check out the vibe that we produce at our events. We'll be right back. I am Sharvette Mitchell, CEO of Mitchell Productions, the producer and host of the Platform Builder Summit. We are here in beautiful Richmond, Virginia, with 115 amazing women, professional service providers. We have therapists, we have accountants, we have realtors in this space, and we're excited about all of the amazing transformations that their businesses and their brands will continue to have.
I was drawn to this conference because of all the beautiful things I heard about the conference. This is my first experience, so I've only heard great things about the empowering women that shared their stories and the things that people take it away from it, and I wanted that experience.
One of the things that I've enjoyed the most about just meeting other women and interacting with other women is the fact that we all realize that we can work together and we can partner together. I don't know how you can come to a Sharvette event and not leave more confident in your skill set and in your gifting. And that's absolutely what I feel today, having just been in the room for the past couple days.
Anything and everything you could think of in regards to business has been discussed, from marketing to finance to planning to strategy to platform building. It's so many amazing nuggets that I can take back and actually implement and grow my business
This is my second time coming to one of these conferences, and I'm telling you, every time I just get more fired up about what it is what my why is.
You know, like this is going to energize me for the rest of the year and into 2024. So grateful.
All right. So be on the lookout for Platform Builder Summit, the VIP Experience 2024. All right. Let's bring our guest back up. I'm bringing Bishop James E. Watson back to the virtual studio here as we continue our conversation. And so, Bishop, I actually want to pop up the book cover. And so can you let people know how they can purchase a copy?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be more than happy to. You can just go over to the website. It's Strongman Ministries. If you just go to strongmanministries.com, you'll be able to scroll through and purchase your copy of Brewing with the Bishop. Yes, ma'am.
All right, perfect. So there you go. You can recognize the book cover when you get there. So how is this journal and the workbook? Because you have two things going on. How are they set up, and how can people expect, what kind of experience can they expect with them?
Yes, ma'am. Brewing with the Bishop, prayer on tap. Prayer on tap is not just it's not like just a catchy phrase. It's more of a divine interaction with God. So when you tap into your prayers, then you gotta be prepared to do something. So then the workbook is for you to do the work. So oftentimes we go into prayer, but we don't do the work that's necessary after we come out of prayer. And so I want to make sure, and it was by overwhelming response. Most of the people that purchased the book currently already had questions as to, hey, what do I do now? What do I do next? How do I make this come alive? I have a copy of the book. And for some men that I've actually had the chance to speak with and get feedback from, have told me that it has really helped them guide their prayers so they can go in and they're not just all over the place with their prayers. They actually have guided prayers. And some, even reading the book and reading the prayers in the book, it'll cause you to literally get stuck on one page. There's information in the book that helps you to just really hone in on what you're really praying about. And so that's what I really want to focus on with the book, is making sure that once you understood how prayer works, then you want to make sure that you do the work with the workbook. So you have to go in and just do some framework to make sure that you get your daily devotions together, make sure you prepare, make sure you reflect, make sure you adore, and make sure you yield. Though that is just really the acronym for pray, for pray. So we just want to make sure that we're prepared. We want to make sure that we have our reflection. We want to make sure that we adore who God is to us, and we want to make sure that we yield as we're coming out of prayer, so that we can actually hear the voice of God.
Oh, that is so good. I remember buying a book probably like 2018 from a young lady, and it slipped my mind, but it was prayers for women, faith-based women entrepreneurs. And there is like a morning prayer. There's like two prayers in there. And literally when you talked about, you can get stuck on one prayer, and I don't have it, it's at home, but the book is bent open because I kept going to that one prayer. So this sounds like, to me, this is not something you can just read. And Bishop has books on his bookcase. I got books over here, 2 bookcases. This is something you're going to use. It is not going to be, oh, this is cute, and I'm going to toss it back on the shelf, but it is something that you're going to actually use. And yes, can you say the acronym one more time?
Yes, the acronym is pray. You got to prepare, you have to reflect, you have to adore, and you have to yield.
Yeah. And so even though geared towards men, anyone can purchase it, absolutely. And I also really like that you listen to the market and you listen to your customers. So once you created it, then when they came back and said, oh, okay, there's more, or there's something else, now the workbook. And so how is the workbook laid out?
the workbook is laid out so that you have more guidelines to be able to do the work, the framework of what you need to do. So you'll have to get into the workbook, and what it requires you to do is you're going to have to actually spend some time with God. You're going to actually have to carve out some time in your day. One of the things I like to tell people when they're preparing for prayer, make sure that, in this technological society, the first thing we normally do is we'll get up in the morning, we'll grab our cell phones, and we'll run off, get coffee, or run to get breakfast, or go to the bathroom. Take that before you can grab your phone in the morning, before you can get your coffee, before you can have your breakfast. Use that time to spend with God. If you can't do that in the morning, do it in the afternoons. But I think that is it's more important that when we grab our word early in the morning, because it says those who seek him shall find him. And so
Yeah.
early in the morning said, I seek him. And so I'm going to seek him early in the morning. So that's what the workbook is designed to do, to help you structure your prayers based on the prayers that are outlined in Brewing with the Bishop, Prayer on Tap. And tap is just simply trust and pray. If you trust God, then pray.
Do you trust him? Which, is brilliant. The title, so certainly in
Yes.
Richmond is known for breweries and beer and all of that. So
Mhm.
someone might at a glance think, okay, Pray on Tap. But that's I think that is such a smart kind of tie-in, and probably might even catch some men, a little bit like, oh, well, let me take a look at this, a little bit closer. It might be something that aligns with them. What are examples of prayers that are in this book? Or do you have like different prayers for different things?
It's different. Yes, ma'am. It's different prayers for different situations. What has been prayed over, what has been written in this book, are the tears of my struggle. And
Mm,
as I went through some stages of my life where it just got really hard. These in this prayer journal is simply the prayers that will help men, because typically most men, we go through some of the same things similar. And so if you talk to men in a barbershop, you talk to them in a coffee shop, most of the time we all go through mostly the same things. And so
mhm,
these are the prayers that are guided to make sure that you understand how warfare works. These prayers help you get over your struggle of pride. These prayers help you get up, because pride is a big portion of what's going on in our men today, that's causing us not to be in the church, like we said in the beginning. But
mhm.
these prayers help deal with pride. It help you deal. One of my favorite is the last prayer that I put in the book, and that is it's written in the New American Standard Version, in First Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13, and it just said, "Be strong and courageous, act like men." And so
Mm.
the last prayer is a prayer to teach how to act like men.
Oh, so good. So good. We definitely got to give a shout out to Words of Deliverance Worldwide Ministries. And so, yay. So let the viewers and listeners know how they can worship with you all, how they can connect with you all.
Yes, right now, worship for us, we're in the middle of doing some transitioning some work.
Okay.
We're in search of a building at this particular time. So
Amen.
anybody that know where a building is, please send us that information.
Yeah.
But yes, right now we're in a virtual space. We're in a place,
Okay.
and we're actually doing some ministry on second and fourth Sundays, where we
Mhm.
get together at 10 a.m. in the morning, where we're just studying the Bible. We're just really in a season right now where we're studying the Bible, preparing people how to defend their faith. And so we worship online. If we can't get in the building for whatever reason, right now we're just using a location that's down in Petersburg, Virginia. But
All right.
hopefully that would change really soon.
Amen. And we come in agreement with you on that. But I'll say we've got listeners all over, and even Uganda. For some reason, this
Wow,
show is charting in Uganda. We had a message
amazing.
about that. So virtual can work for our listeners and our viewers. All absolutely. And so, what is on the horizon for Bishop James E. Watson? What's next?
We're actually, my wife and I, we're in the process of writing another book. She's anytime, all those books you see, every one of them has a duplicate to them, just about, because when she buys books, I actually have to write my name on my book. She'll write her name on her book so we can. But I do have a couple of her books on my shelf that I borrowed that I need to put back. But what's on the horizon for us? We're writing, in the process of writing a new book that's going to be coming out soon, called Real, Relevant, and Raw. And really, all the raw stands for please don't nobody snatch it, because we've already got the process started. But
Right,
raw,
right. Copyright all
raw,
that.
yeah, raw just simply says relationships. For our relationships, we want to make sure that we talk about the relevancy of relationships in a manner that we can both leave the conversation in a happier place.
I feel like y'all, and you might already be planning this, but like a YouTube show, like a YouTube broadcast, like both of you, I think that would be amazing, especially talking about relationships, because people want to hear about relationships. So, how can and listen, our time flew by. How can how can viewers and listeners connect with you? What's the best ways you'd like for them to connect?
They can connect through all of the social media outlets. Everything is Strongman Ministries. So if you're looking for me on Facebook, Instagram, they are Strongman Ministries 31. Mm-hmm.
All right. And how can they pick up a copy of the journal, the workbook, and all that?
You can put it, if you want. If you're in the city of Richmond and you would like to get a copy, you can reach out to strongmanministries.com. That's strongmanministries.com. Go on the website. The reason I want to be able to go on the website so that we can keep a track of all the books. We're looking to get the book in the stores, in Barnes and Noble very soon. We have our second batch that has come through, and so thank you to all of those who bought the first copies. And so if they just go on the website, that's the easiest way to purchase the book.
All right, there you go. My last question, which I like to ask all of our guests, and because the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence, and we want to know what continues to motivate Bishop James Watson.
My family. Well, let me start over. God first, and then my family and the ministry that I get a chance, opportunity to serve under. This ministry, we are a serving ministry. We will literally shut down service to go out and serve the people. And so we're not about the four walls. Yes, we do love to have good church, but serving the people is more important. So that's what motivates me, getting out and meeting the people. I'm a people's pastor. I love people. I love to be around people. I'm an extrovert in every aspect of the way. Only time I'm an introvert is when I'm at home with my wife.
And you remind me of my pastor in that way. Shout out to Bishop Joel Vincent Brown.
My friend.
Yes, absolutely. The people's pastor as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I am telling you what, I'll have to have you and Dr. Nikita back when you release that combo book there. But we are wishing you just much more continued success in everything that you're doing. And I want to mention, even, when you all were in the building and all that, you would take Sundays off and go and have kind of like these serving Sundays and outreach Sundays. So I do want to testify and witness to that for your ministry. So thank you so much for being a part of the Charlotte Mitchell Radio Show.
Thank you so much for this marvelous opportunity. You are a great woman of God, and thank you for being a part of our purpose birthing boot camp that we had. So thank you. Yes. You were amazing then, and you're still amazing. You have one of the biggest hearts I've seen in such a long time. So continue the great work that you're doing, and I pray that your show will reach millions.
Amen. I receive it. I receive it. Thank you so much, Bishop. I receive it. Woo! I am telling you, if you missed any portion and you're like, wait, I just came in go to charvette.com. Charvette.com is the best place to go. We have our full bio for Bishop James, links to purchase the book, links to all of his social media. Listen, I even found it on Apple. You can read it on your phone, links to that. So charvette.com is the best place to go. Shout out again to those on YouTube, youtube.com/Charvette. Subscribe to our channel. If you're listening to the podcast, look down below in the show notes. Look down below in the show notes. We have Bishop Watson's full bio, links, everything right there. If you listen on Blog Talk Radio, again, look down below in the show notes and you have everything there. Thank you for all of the live, digital and live. Hey, Rita, thank you for being here. All our live listeners and viewers. And listen, it's a wrap until we meet again. Peace and love. And thank you for being a part of the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show family. We'll see you later.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Charvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show.